love. Welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph. I'm your love language. And let's talk about how you can have a radically new kind of relationship. The winds of change are here. And you're ready, right? You're sick of so many, just the way it's always been done, probably not working, right? Some ways it is, so many ways it's not. So for your love life, darling, we need to first look at what the fear is around the gender roles. There is so much fear around women's liberation and men's liberation. Why is women's liberation so scary for everyone? The women won't even stand up for it most of the time. Well, women are really afraid of losing the support for being mothers. There's already not enough. And they're also afraid of losing polarity because they're already so maxed out in their yang, working, becoming more and more masculine, less and less time to, be feminine and dress up and any of that. They are terrified about losing what little is left of honoring the feminine. They're thinking that if you really support women's rights, that then they will have even less. They'll be expected to be like men. And really, what will they do? What will we do when we're older if we've been serving men and children our whole lives and haven't put enough time and effort into our own careers? Then we can't survive in our older age unless we think the whole male-female thing is as is. Well, it's not working. So let's just be a little more brave. Let's have more faith, okay? Now, what are the men afraid of? They're terrified that after thousands of years of oppressing women, that they are going to get the same treatment back. Oh my God. I saw a woman's feminist paintings of all these men in passive positions like women are always painted. Oh my God, it was so humiliating. The men looked so pathetic. And I'm like, oh my gosh, as women, we're just used to it. But what if the women turned the tables on you men, right? And started doing stuff like that? Oh gosh, it's terrifying, right? How will you be powerful? How will you be masculine? So let's look at this whole thing in a more subtle way. We're not trying to make women the same as men. We don't need to have equal. We need to have equal but different. Because women want different things and men need different things, and vice versa. So here's a good example. Standing Rock is a matriarchal society, the tribe that was holding space for the whole movement there. And they were trying to teach people about that by having everybody, when it came to thousands of people eating, they would say, okay, so women, children, and elders first, then men. And it's trying to get the idea into people's bodies viscerally. Okay, women first. But the problem with that kind of tit for tat thing is that it may be in that situation that the men are putting out so much testosterone, working on these really big things, raising tents and hauling things away, that their metabolisms are burning so high that they are ravenously, desperately hungry, whereas we know that women are stronger. We can last longer. We might not be desperate. So whereas children and elders, that makes sense for everybody to put them first, and the mothers who need to feed those children. But for the rest of the women, perhaps the men who've been working in the field, they would come next. You know what I mean? So in a radically new society or a way of doing relationships that is honoring the feminine, it doesn't need to be about reversing everything and having women, behaving the way men have behaved towards us. We don't need that. So here's another example. The Hmong women of China. On the edge of China, there's this amazing society where the women there are, their sexuality is totally free. They choose a new lover every day, as many lovers as they want every day. They're given their sacred flower room when they turn of age. I think it's 13, actually. And but why? What makes this possible for the women to have so many lovers when they need to raise children and they need to feel safe? the reason why this is possible in this particular tribe is that the women's children are raised with her by her brother. That's how they know bloodline connection, is because it's her brother, and her parents. So there's a compound, and her flower room is on the has a door to the outer world and a door to the inner world, and she never brings her lovers into the inner world where the sacred family is raising her children. So you see, she can be free with her sexuality because she knows she's safe, she's loved, she's got family and a father for her children, and none of it is dependent upon her sexuality. So in this new paradigm, I'm not saying that we should all live like the Hmong women. I'm just saying that we need to attend to women's safety as mothers and elders, okay, and really see what changes happen when we see what the feminine needs. The feminine needs her children to be safe. The feminine needs communication. The feminine needs deep relationships and a sense of her sexuality being her own, not owned by somebody else. What does the man need? I think the man needs more freedom to express himself. Man needs to be able to wear skirts like the Balinese men, laugh, be magical and whimsical sometimes, not always holding space for everybody. The masculine needs his liberation, to be able to hug other men and hold hands with them, and without being gay, unless he is, but So let's talk about radical new levels of really looking into what does each other really need. So in the Council of the Matriarchal Society at Standing Rock, I would say let's have the women be listened to first and the women responded to first in terms of their requests, observations, and needs, and then the men. Now, why women first? Well, because women our brains are networked in a holistic way to see everybody's needs all at once, and we're taking care of children, and we're often taking care of everybody. So it's really important to hear what the women are saying. And also because the men have such broad, wide vision that sees so far, that goes so far into the future, they need a really good way to send their arrow. And then they need to stop sending that arrow. Don't kill any more deer. There's enough deer on the platter. Now please help us cut some wood for the fire, So the men are responding to the feminine, and the feminine, how do we respond to the masculine when we are really, as women, honored? What would be our natural response to what men need? And because it often seems what men need is to come into their sensual body, their spiritual heart, and sexuality connected with that. But if the women are overworked with all the hundreds of details that they're and their minds are just loading them down, they are not going to be there for the men. So here's another thing I keep thinking about. Everywhere I look, I see these women and men, these couples showing up to different places, and the man looks positively radiant, like just glowing. It's like he feels like the luckiest man on earth to be with this woman. And the woman looks kind of worn out, haggard, worried, distressed, uptight. And I see it over and over again with young couples, old couples, it doesn't matter. I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I think what's going on is that women are overworked. They're holding all of these details, and the details are exhausting. So the men need to start carrying more of the weight of the minutia. Because she's having to be so masculine so much of the time, and then she's expected to be feminine and want to be sexual, and if she's been in her masculine all day, she won't want to be sensual or sexual, romantic at all. She won't even feel the hots for her beloved. So how can you, as a guy, bring her into her feminine is do more things to hold space for her. Ask her, What's on your list today? What can I take off the list? What would be the thing that would just make everything relax for you so that we could have date time tonight? Okay, you can ask it straight out. And if she tells you do the freaking thing, do it right away, okay? And you will see that her energy returns, because women are super strong. I mean, we can do so much in a day, but that little bit that you do that gives her space to rest or doll up or meditate or go to the river, whatever it is she needs to do, changes everything in terms of how she feels towards you, the space she has in her heart, and her attraction to you. Oh, it's worth it, darling. You can do this. Okay, we're talking radical new kind of relatedness, which is both equal but different. Okay? Much love, darling. Love, life. Love it, love it, love it.